In this video tutorial, we'll review how to select the right microphone and recording setup to ensure success with your audio capture. The specific location and number of people you anticipate having in your recording are important factors to note ahead of time when planning your oral history project. If possible, you want to find a quiet space away from daily distractions. There are lots of practical reasons for this, but on a technical side of the equation, it will also mean your recording will be cleaner and easier to work with. Ideally, you'll also want to know if the person or people you're recording with will be sitting down or on the move. For example, imagine you're sitting at a table to record an interview with a Cajun musician. Or perhaps you'll need to record the same musician discussing their musical heritage as they walk down a bayou trail. It's also helpful to know ahead of time if you'll be inside or outside, as this will have a direct bearing on the mic you choose for your project. Finally, some mics are great at capturing audio for one person, a few people, or a group of people. Knowing how many people will be participating in the interview will also influence your microphone choice. So, before choosing a microphone and recording setup, here's a few questions you'll need to answer first. How many people will be participating in the interview? Where is the location of the recording? Do you have a distraction-free space? Will you be inside or outside? And will your recording subject be sitting or on the move? Now that you've answered key questions about your subject and location, the next step is selecting the right recording tools for your specific oral history project. Essentially, you'll want to choose a microphone setup that can adjust to your recording environment and optimally capture the number of speakers you plan to record. If you're recording outside, there could be a lot of wind noise. Select a mic that includes a fuzzy windscreen for these situations. If you're inside, you likely won't need a windscreen, but there could be potential for air blowing from an AC unit or fan. Whenever you're unsure, select a mic that includes a fuzzy windscreen to prevent wind-induced audio clipping and improve the clarity of your recording. A mic's pickup range is based on a number of factors. One of them is a thing called polar pattern. A very simplified and functional definition, a polar pattern simply tells you where people can sit in relation to the mic in order to be heard. Knowing the number of speakers you need to record ahead of time will help narrow down your microphone selection and the particular polar pattern needed to capture your speaker or speakers. Now let's review a few common recording scenarios you might encounter. For each example, we'll offer some different mic suggestions along with some basic setup tips to help you prepare for your own project needs. One speaker. Some options available for a single speaker recording include using the Cardioid setting on a USB mic like the Blue Yeti, paired with a computer. Using a wireless mic system like the Rode Wireless Go 2 with an optional lavalier extension. And using a portable digital recorder like the Zoom H1n and H6 Essential. Let's go over some basic mic setup tips starting with the Blue Yeti USB mic. If you have just one person for a seated interview and you don't want or need to hear your questions on the recording, for example, one person recording their testimony of a historic event, then using a simple USB mic with a Cardioid setting connected to a computer with your recording application of choice is often the right tool for the job. To clarify, a Cardioid polar pattern is most sensitive to picking up sound sources that are directly in front of the microphone itself. But note, Cardioid mics will also reject sounds from the sides and rear, making them particularly useful for more focused single-voice recordings like someone telling a story or singing a song. First, connect the mic using the included USB cable to the USB port on your computer and open your recording software of choice. You'll want to center and angle your mic toward the mouth of your speaker about 6 to 8 inches away. In your editing software, select a monotrack for a single speaker recording and ensure the Blue Yeti is selected as both your input and output device in your editing software. For direct monitoring, connect a pair of headphones to the 3.5mm input jack. Remember to keep the headphone volume counterclockwise, slowly raising to a comfortable listening level. To test your input levels before recording, click on the microphone icon and select Start Monitoring while your interviewee begins speaking. Raising the gain knob will increase the clarity of your sound source, while lowering the gain will help avoid input distortion and excess background noise. In general, keeping your meter levels averaging above -18 dB and peaking no harder than 6 dB will ensure a healthy signal range. Once your gain levels are in check and your speaker is ready, you can start recording. If this is your first time using the Rode Wireless Go microphone system, we'd recommend first making sure each transmitter and the receiver is charged by connecting the included USB cable. It can take up to 2 hours to charge each transmitter and the receiver, so be sure to charge these devices ahead. Fully charged, you can record up to 7 hours of uncompressed audio. On your computer, we'd also encourage users to download the free Rode Central app to more easily manage your recordings. In particular, you'll need to use the Rode Central app to delete any recordings remaining on the transmitters. Just note, any recordings left on the transmitter will be overwritten as new tracks are saved beyond the 7-hour limit, so make sure your system is charged and your transmitters are cleared in advance to cover the length of your recording. As a recording safety net, this wireless microphone system should already come set to backup in always-on mode within the Rode Central app. In this setting, the recordings captured by each transmitter will be saved, up to 7 hours, even in the event of a dropout with the receiver during the recording. Just remember, the always-on backup mode means your transmitter will start recording as a backup as soon as it is turned on, even if the receiver itself is turned off. Now, each transmitter should already be paired with the receiver. But if they still need to be paired, here are some quick steps. First, turn on both transmitters and the receiver. On the bottom of the receiver, press the channel selector button to highlight channel 1, then hold this button down for 3 seconds until the Wi-Fi symbol starts blinking. Then, on your transmitter, press the power button once, and the transmitter should now be paired. Repeat the same steps to pair the other transmitter to the receiver. Note, when paired successfully, the blue pairing light on your transmitter should go from flashing to a solid light. To verify your connection, you should also notice active audio metering for each channel on your receiver's screen. If you just need to record one speaker with one transmitter to the receiver, we recommend setting the receiver to the merge mode. The merge mode is ideal for one-speaker recordings to create a more natural, balanced recording with minimal post-production. Essentially, merge mode will record the same audio from your single speaker on both the left and the right channels. To change from the default split mode, which is useful for recording two individual speakers on separate left and right channels, to merge mode, press the two buttons on the bottom of the receiver and hold for 3 seconds. You should notice a switch from 2 separate audio meters to only 1 meter displayed. Now let's demonstrate where to place your transmitter on your speaker to prepare for recording. If you're just using the built-in microphone on the transmitter to record, clip this piece on the front collar or shirt of your speaker relatively close to the mouth. The built-in mic on the Rode transmitter, as well as the included external Rode lavalier, both utilize an omnidirectional polar pattern. This polar pattern captures sound equally in all directions, giving your interviewee the freedom to move around while speaking with minimal impact to the sound quality and pickup range. For a more discreet option, you can also use the included external lavalier. Connect the lavalier using the 3.5mm port on the transmitter. This will override the built-in mic plus allow more flexibility on where to attach the transmitter. The Rode wireless microphone system can record audio all by itself, but you also have the option to plug the receiver into a computer to record directly into your recording software of choice. Remember, you'll still have your backup recording on the transmitter. To set up the Rode for recording with a laptop, plug the receiver into your computer with the included USB cable. Hold down the power button on the receiver to switch from charge mode to recording mode. Within your recording software, choose your preferred playback device, with your recording device as wireless go. For a single speaker recording, select a mono track. Hold the power button down on your transmitter for 3 seconds, ensuring both blue LEDs are solid. You're now ready to start recording. In your editing software, click on the microphone icon to start monitoring to test your gain levels. You'll also want to raise your recording level to 100%. On the receiver, 0 dB is a good starting point to send a strong signal to your recording software. Begin speaking into your transmitter and aim for peak gain levels around -6 dB. You can also reduce the gain levels on your receiver if your gain input regularly peaks above -6 dB. You can now start recording. Remember, for situations where you don't have access to a computer, you can record with just the Rode wireless system. Each transmitter will start recording on board as soon as it's turned on. Simply have the speaker turn on the transmitter when they're ready, and the recording will begin. When you finish a recording session, be sure to turn off the transmitter. This not only helps save the battery life of your transmitter, but also prevents overwriting the audio you just captured. Finally, retrieve the recorded audio files from the transmitter by connecting the USB cable into a computer. The audio files can either be found in your external drive folder or the Rode Central app. You can also use a portable digital recorder like the Zoom H1n and Zoom H6 Essential to capture a single speaker recording. These portable devices have built-in mics that record in an XY stereo polar pattern, which, like a cardioid microphone, is better suited to capturing sounds coming directly in front of the microphone. For a quick setup with the Zoom H1n, simply turn on the device by sliding the power switch for 1 second. Select the Auto Level feature for automated input gain adjustments while recording. For more control, you can also adjust input gain manually. Just be sure to aim between -18 and -6 on your meter levels. -12 dB is usually a good balance. Plug in a pair of headphones if you'd like to monitor your recording. To reduce vibrational pickup, set the Zoom H1n mounted on the included desk tripod. Ideally, you'll want to place the H1n on a table 6 to 12 inches from the speaker's mouth for optimal sound pickup. Angle the mic slightly off-center to reduce plosives. Note, using a foam windscreen can also help reduce vocal plosives, particularly when recording indoors. Press the red record button when your speaker is ready to begin recording. And when finished, press the same button to stop your recording. If you are recording outside, remember to use the included furry windscreen to reduce wind-induced noise and audio clipping. The Zoom H6 Essential offers even more recording flexibility with its attachable XY stereo mic capsule plus 4 additional XLR inputs. For a quick and easy setup, attach the XY stereo mic capsule, mount the H6 on the included desk tripod, and slide the power switch on to the left. Press the mic button to activate the XY capsule. For a seated interview, set the H6 on a table about 6 to 12 inches from the speaker's mouth. As a plus, the Zoom H6 also utilizes 32-bit float onboard recording. This feature generally allows users to capture a wide dynamic range of audio without the need for manual gain adjustment, reducing excess noise and audio clipping. For direct monitoring, plug in the included headphone set and adjust the headphone volume dial starting from low to a comfortable listening level while your speaker talks into the mic. Remember, if you're recording outside with potential for wind, secure the furry windscreen. If time permits, make a brief test recording. Press the red record button to start. Monitor the speaker through your headphones. Press the white square to stop recording. Then press the play button to review. If needed, adjust the mic position for improved clarity. If you need to capture a more intimate recording of your speaker, you can also pair the Zoom H6 with a cardioid condenser mic. Connect the XLR cable of the condenser microphone into input 1 of the Zoom H6. Use the menu dial on the side to hover over the mic input icon, then press Enter. Select Channel 1, then enable the phantom power option. Note, unlike a dynamic mic, condenser mics require phantom power. Set up the condenser mic on a stand roughly 6 to 12 inches away from your speaker, with the mic positioned slightly above mouth level pointed downward, or slightly below the mouth off-axis to help reduce plosives. For assurance, you can also use a pop filter. Monitor and test for sound quality, then you're ready to record. After you've finished recording with either Zoom device, plug in the included USB cable to transfer your audio files for safekeeping. 2 speakers. Now, if you need 2 speakers recorded for an interview, for example, you and your interviewee sitting across from one another, we suggest using a USB mic like the Blue Yeti in bi-directional mode to optimally pick up sound from each speaker. Remember, you'll need a computer on hand to connect with this type of microphone. Ideally, you want to set the Blue Yeti on a table in the upright position, centered equidistant, about 6 to 12 inches from each speaker, between your 2 speakers seated on opposite sides. While each speaker provides a vocal test, adjust the headphone and mic gain as needed to balance your meter levels in your recording software. With your audio levels adjusted, you're ready to record. Note, bi-directional mode records each speaker on a single track, which can't be separated during post-editing. 2 speakers with separate channels. Let's say your 2-person interview requires the highest audio fidelity. In this case, you'll want to select a dual-channel wireless microphone system like the Rode Wireless Go 2. This compact system offers users the flexibility to record each speaker into separate left and right channels in split mode. Enabling this feature is particularly handy for adjusting the volume levels between each voice independently in post-production. Place a transmitter on each speaker. When ready to record, just power on each transmitter and you're ready to go. Don't forget, each transmitter used will record its own separate audio track, so you'll need to download the audio from each transmitter or speaker after recording. Now, as you may recall, the Rode Wireless Go can record audio on board by itself. But if you plan to record directly into your editing software, be sure to change your audio settings to 2 stereo and select a stereo track. After recording a stereo track, you'll then be able to split the left and right channel into 2 mono tracks to balance the volume levels between each speaker in post-editing. Group recording. Let's say you have a small group of people to record, and you just need a basic room sound captured for research purposes. If you ask your interviewees to sit in a circle around a table or in a comfortably tight semicircle, you can use a basic USB microphone with an omnidirectional setting like the Blue Yeti connected to a computer. With the mic centered, this setting will help ensure sound is picked up more equally among all speakers. Just remember, when using the setting for a half circle of speakers, audio will still be picked up from all around the microphone. So make sure to account for unintended sound pickup from behind the microphone during your recording. Recording on the go. And finally, if you're on the go without a computer to pair with a USB microphone, we'd recommend using a compact portable digital audio recorder like the Zoom H1n and Zoom H6 Essential. Because these devices have built-in stereo mics that record direct to a micro SD card, this makes them particularly useful recording tools when space efficiency is a concern. Just remember, the built-in Zoom mics utilize a stereo polar pattern with decreased sensitivity from the back and sides, so you'll want to choose these devices for situations like recording in front of a small semicircle of speakers or to capture a pair of speakers, singers, or even a band. When recording a half circle of speakers, place the Zoom H1n in the center and equidistant from each speaker, 12 inches away if possible. If you're recording a song by a duo with 2 singers, aim to set the H6 equal distance between the 2 artists, ideally within 20 inches or closer if possible. A tripod may be useful for standing speakers. Monitor for any adjustments, and you're ready to go. Of course, if you're interviewing someone constantly on the move, then your best option will likely be the Rode wireless microphone system, which includes a furry windscreen that you can attach and detach as your location dictates. Just remember to use the split mode so the audio from each speaker records on separate channels. To recap, here are some key points to consider when choosing the optimal mic setup for your oil history project. If you know you're going to be recording outside with potential windy conditions, choose a mic that includes a fuzzy windscreen. Plan for how many people you will be recording. Knowing this information is particularly helpful when narrowing down the right microphone and polar pattern type for your recording. Remember, if your interview subject will be moving while recording, you'll need to select a microphone that can move with them. Hopefully you now have a better sense of what information you need to gather ahead to select the right type of microphone you need for the job. Please visit our Creative Technology Lending Collection Guide for more in-depth information about the recording tools available to you, including microphone polar patterns and general availability. When you're ready, bring your splash card to Media Services on the 6th floor of Howard Tilton Memorial Library to check out your mic.